Triton community, this is Jeremy Riffle, Superintendent of Triton School Corporation, with Mr. Ross, the junior senior high school principal. The objective today is simply to take you on a tour of our new auxiliary gym. I know Mr. Orion Lumler's done an awesome job of walking through that and kind of doing silent tours, but we're just going to kind of lay out what's been happening, how the spaces are going to be used, and just do that in a little bit more detailed fashion. So right now we're starting at the main entrance. I'm hoping, Mr. Ross, our door is going to look a little bit better than the plywood, but that should be coming in here real soon. So we're going to take you on the tour, point out some details, and hopefully give you a better look of the brand new facility our students are going to be enjoying here real soon. So we just entered into the foyer of the new Triton Junior Senior High School auxiliary gym. So straight ahead would have been the entrance 9. So that's going to take on a new look. We're pretty excited about what that's going to look like. We're going to try to continue to work on our branding with our Trojan heads and our double stack tees as we complete this space. It's going to be a nice entrance for our students as they play sports. So Mr. Ross, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, the transition, there'll be a drop ceiling will come in, obviously all the way across here. The wood at the end will open up, and that will open just outside of the cafeteria door. So if you need a reference, that's what we're looking at. The floor will all be carpeted, and the floor or the walls will be painted to match the other colors we have in the hallway in the school. So the idea behind it is to keep the transitions the same throughout the building to hopefully make it look like it's been part of the building all along.
So as we enter this the new facility, we're looking at 24,000 square foot facility, a new auxiliary gym with the main purpose of taking a lot of the traffic off of our main competition floor, which is known as the Trojan Trench. And so daily, PE students will be in this facility. It will also house our junior high athletics. So it'll be consisted of a main competition floor and then 2 other gym floors at the back side of that, which will actually be divided by a curtain, so practices can still take place if we have a competition. So, Mr. Ross, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Like we said, we're really excited about the fact that all of our students will be able to stay on campus in our building. There won't be the crossing the streets. There won't have to be the late night practices. All of our kids will be able to practice after school and then be able to get home at a reasonable time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go down what would be the north side of the wall here and show you our different storerooms. It's actually one giant storeroom. But it'll have multi-purposes. So through the first set of double doors as you come in, this will actually turn into a concession stand. So we can, when we host junior high activities or freshman activities or even different tournaments, it will allow us to have a concessions here, and we won't have to go down into the hallway by the main gym. So we'll have pretty much all the same features that we have in our current concession stands, so we'll still continue to provide our award-winning popcorn along with all the other goodies that we usually have. So here again, you can see the length of this storeroom. It'll be divided into 3 sections. So there will be a wall right here by these doors, and there'll all be a chain link fence wall. They won't be solid walls, which allows us flexibility to make the space custom to what we actually need. So beyond the fence we have here for the concessions, the next set, this next room, will be one big room, and it'll have a set of double doors here, and then the next set of doors down are actually going to be a garage type door, which will allow us to bring in bigger items if we actually need that. So in this storage area, we'll store all of our wrestling mats that we use for tournaments, all of our basketballs, volleyballs, new volleyball standards, bigger equipment, so we don't have to hoof that from the current competition gym to this gym here. And then the last section down there on the end will be strictly for PE storage. So we'll have another fence there, the last set of double doors. All of our PE equipment will be stored in there. So they'll have their own dedicated space for that equipment. There won't be a drop ceiling. It's going to look just the way it does right now. So a lot of space. We're really excited about it. On the other side of those walls is the electrical room and the water room, the water pump room, which runs a sprinkler system in the event of a fire.
The exciting next step in the progress of the new auxiliary gym is the wood floor. So that actually started arriving last week, and it's currently sitting here acclimating to the facility that is more temperature controlled because it's fully enclosed now. So just a couple items that I think are important for our community to know, very similar to some of the things that we discussed when we just replaced our Trojan trench floor, are these little pads. So you can see this is the base layer that would be going down on the gym floor. The little pads create a little bit of a space, which also provides our athletes with a little bit of cushion when they are running up and down the floor, jumping, that type of thing. So ergonomically, it's a lot better on their body. But it also allows us to cross-ventilate. And they just turned the power off. So there it's back on. So we're good. And it's working. So they're dimming the lights, which is actually another feature, Mr. Ross, we're pretty excited about for energy savings. So they're doing all sorts of things without us knowing about it. But let's go ahead and move on. So base layer, as I mentioned, and then the second layer will simply be this plywood as well, and it actually runs across from the first layer of wood that we just showed you with the cushions on it. And then right down here we have our 2 1/4 inch maple that you guys have once again been accustomed to with the other gym that we discussed, and it is what they call seconds or better. So it will have a little bit of the grain just like our Trojan trench floor that we just recently installed. But you can see that that is sitting here ready to go. The good part about this, these skids that you see, is the fact is that they were actually able to bring them through a door. We talked about when they replaced the Trojan trench floor, it was quite the process because they had to go up and down the steps. So the gentlemen that brought these in just don't realize how easy they had it this time, Mr. Ross, do they? No. So yeah, so this will be going down in about 2 weeks after it acclimates to the climate within the facility as work goes on around it. So as we move through the gym, we'll just keep moving towards the girls and the boys' locker room, and I'll have Mr. Ross talk to you a little bit about what is going to be in there and how that's going to be used.
So as you look at this wall off to the left, we have three doors. The first one to the left is the entrance to the girls' locker room. The middle door will be our electrical and plumbing room. It also provides access to the air handlers, which are actually on the roof above the locker rooms. So all the air and heat that move in and out of the gym are controlled by the air handlers that sit on top of the locker rooms. So if you make your way into the locker rooms, we'll come in to the locker rooms. We'll have a office for our PE teachers here. And then as you come into the locker room, we'll have new lockers, top, bottom, for all PE classes. You can see the concrete bench is already poured in place. And here again, there will be a drop ceiling in here as well. And then we have a full shower facility along with toilets and everything back in the back corner. So it'll be super nice, and it's spaced large enough to handle all the PE students that we currently have, and it actually allows room for growth.
And all ADA compliant.
And everything's ADA compliant. We'll actually have a handicap shower stall in there. Yeah, so everything is current and meets all ADA requirements. It'll be a painted floor with the necessary drains. It'll look sharp. The walls will all be painted again to match the rest of the facility. So as we leave here and head out, like I said, this will be the electric room, and it has the access. The ladder will take you up to the air handlers that are situated on top of those big I-beams that helps to hold all the air that's going to be moved in and out to heat and cool the gym. And then we have the boys' locker room. Same basic setup. We'll have a coach's office here for our PE teachers to utilize. There will be a shower, just like there was in the girls, ADA accessible, sinks on the outside. Here again, we'll have lockers all the way around, tops and bottoms, typical PE lockers, with the concrete benches poured. So the nice thing about this, supervision-wise, is our coaches and teachers can see everybody getting dressed, and it's just a big open area, plenty of room for our students to change and be able to get in and out as we go from class to class. If you stand back here and look, you can see, of course, there will be a drop ceiling above all of this, but up above and behind those walls are where the air handlers are. That'll be insulated, so it'll be soundproof, so it won't be terribly loud when they're up and running. And then you can see the steel support walls. On the back side of that wall is the wrestling room, which is where we'll move to next.
Now, what's this not mean this room bigger than the girls?
What's that?
Is this room bigger than the girls?
Yeah, it's bigger than the girls, just because of we design the rooms based on proportions of our PE classes. So we have a higher number of boys primarily participating in the elective classes, like our weight classes. So we matched those numbers, and what we did was we took like our average of our last 7 years and kind of used that to figure out exactly how many kids we had. So we kind of took an average of those last 7 years. The other nice thing about the gym and the size that it is, not only will our volleyball teams and basketball teams be able to utilize facilities, but football and inclement weather could even come in and they could host practices in here and really be able to do about everything other than punt the ball. So there's plenty of room for that. In the spring, when our spring sports, when baseball and softball start to throw, there's plenty of room in here also for them. They could make some long tosses and not have to do it out in the snow. So just another nice thing we're looking forward to. Everybody will be able to use the facility. For that matter, the band could even come in and use it. Only thing we won't have is stripes on it for.
There'll be a batting cage at the other end.
There'll be a batting cage on the other end. Yep. So on the what would be the west end of the gym, there'll be a set of bleachers that will seat 500 people. They'll be retractable, and then above that will be a batting cage that baseball and softball will be able to use. So we can use the one on top of the deck, and then we'll have another one here. So here again, the nice thing about it is we won't have kids here late in the evening for athletic purposes. They can all be done around 6 o'clock and be home. And here again, that batting cage will hang over the bleachers, or it'll raise up above the bleachers. That way it won't be over the competition court. And then on this side of the competition court, which runs north-south, there will be a drop curtain, a PE curtain that will drop down to divide that area off. And then on this half of the building, we'll have 2 courts side by side that will run east-west. And those will also be regulation size, width, and length of a competition court. And then the last area we move into is our new wrestling room. We're super excited about this. We made improvements with the wrestling room the last couple of years. Back in the days when Sam Davis first started the program, if anybody had ever been down into the old wrestling room, it would be about the size of just this little portion of the hallway here. It also used to be our weight room back then, so it served 2 purposes. It was a storage area. So over the past 5-6 years, we've cleaned those areas out, have made more room for the wrestlers. It's still not what we want it to be. This new facility will obviously put us up there with the best around. So there'll be a lot of room. So you come in, there'll be a nice walkway, entryway. We'll have storage cabinets along this wall here that they'll be able to store all their uniforms, practice gear, whatever else they need to. And then this will be wall-to-wall wrestling mats. There'll be pads on the walls on the side. Right now this will a little over double the current space that we have. So We're super excited about this. In this room, there will not be a drop ceiling. So kind of like the coaches said, it kind of gives us that, rugged factory, urban kind of Rocky Balboa-like environment that they're real excited about as well. So you can see the ducts up above the ceiling there. Those are the air intake that bring the fresh air from outside into the air handlers above the locker room that will heat and cool the addition here. So the wrestling coaches can't wait to get in here. Hopefully we'll still get in here yet before their season ends this year. Because like I said, they're super excited about having this for a wrestling room. So we're really looking forward to it.
So this will be strictly practice in here, or?
Correct. Strictly practice. Strictly practice. High school and junior high both. So no more using the cafeteria, no more using the upper deck, no more having to use the elementary. The mats that will be laid down are the new competition mats that roll out instead of the big, I think they used to be like 18-foot wide, that takes 10 guys to move. Now they're the 6-foot wide that roll up, and really 2 guys can move them in and out. So when we have a tournament or we have a competition, it'll be really easy to transport those back to either using the auxiliary gym or the main gym, depending on what type of tournament we're hosting or what type of meet we're hosting.
The timeliness of this, Mr. Ross, couldn't be better with the numbers when it comes to the wrestling as well. They've experienced a lot of success the last few years. And so the space is just going to be just great timing for them. As I always called this space that they used to be kind of the dungeon. Yeah, and so it's just a purpose space, but another exciting piece is as we look to the future, that we're going to revitalize that space as well. Just utilize that better when it comes to the possibility of a training room, putting some of the things that we use for the basketball games and so on, just make that a lot easier access, and just clean that up. I believe also moving the laundry rooms a little bit to make that a little bit more user-friendly as well for our managers and so on. So just a lot of exciting things, and I'm so excited for our wrestlers when it comes to this new space. So excited to move into the building. I will tell you, just like any construction project, Mr. Ross, it doesn't come without challenges, and I'll just be 100% honest with our community. There are definitely some challenges that are happening, and we're facing those one challenge at a time when it comes to the construction process and understanding, making sure that we get the best possible product, and make sure that we're representing our community well when it comes to what we will and will not settle for. So we're excited for the space. I want you to know we're working hard for you every day to make sure that we're getting the best possible product. I thank Mr. Ross and just the visionary of him and Mr. McIntyre and, of course, Mrs. Burrows before this was ever built. Thank her for her vision. It's just going to be, I know we've already had multiple schools come in, just say for a 1A school, just an unbelievable facility. So we're super excited. And as we've tried and as we continue to try, we just want to make sure that we communicate these items to you as community members and taxpayers and let you know, first of all, we appreciate you, but also we appreciate you being part of this journey to make sure that we make Triton as good as we possibly can. We're competing with those around us, and we continue to build something great together.